Rachel Maddow was so happy about the polling 4 years ago in South Carolina. Once again, you want to know why people are going to alternative outlets. People are going to alternative outlets for their media and to consume information and news because of Rachel Maddow at CNN and others at CNN like Brian Stelter and Van Jones and so many others. And they're doing that because of this actual clip that you're going to hear 4 years ago, where Rachel Maddow is just ecstatic about the polling in South Carolina. This is 4 years ago. Imagine, we all know what just happened this year with Lindsey Graham and his race, where they said, he's tied with his challenger. The Democrats are going to take South Carolina. 4 years ago, they said the exact same thing when Donald Trump was running against Hillary Clinton, and we have proof of it. And here's Rachel Maddow. Here's the clip.
Hot off the presses, we are breaking this news right here, right now. You're going to think I'm kidding, but the presidential race appears to be tied in South Carolina. Yes, I said South Carolina, not North Carolina. South Carolina. And maybe we should have seen this coming a couple weeks ago. South Carolina Democrats hired PPP to do a presidential poll in South Carolina. They came up with an unexpectedly close result. Again, this was a couple of weeks ago, South Carolina, PPP. This is a poll commissioned by the South Carolina Democratic Party. They found Trump leading in South Carolina, but only by 2 points.
Yeah, she says, South Carolina. Like, she's so excited. Like, oh, South Carolina. It's incredible if you could see her. If you could listen to it, you can only imagine what she looks like. She's just so giddy, so excited that 4 years ago, during this poll that was taken in South Carolina by the Democrat Party, demonstrated that Donald Trump was only winning by 2 points during the election over Hillary Clinton. And of course, he ended up trouncing Hillary Clinton in South Carolina. Why do you think, ladies and gentlemen, that you find it necessary to go to alternative outlets for your news, to consume your news? There you have it. I mean, first you have Christiane Amanpour, which you've heard earlier in this podcast, compare the Trump era to Kristallnacht. And then you have this polling that occurred this election and then last election, which is all a lie. And you have actually a news outlet, at least they call themselves a news outlet, literally lying to your face. It's no wonder people don't believe what they're hearing and they want to go somewhere else. Proof be told is Dr. Fauci, right? First, Dr. Fauci says you don't need a mask. Then Dr. Fauci says you do need a mask. And as we have maintained here on Mark and the Millennials, well, what about the mask itself? If masks are really going to work, right, and they obviously provide some benefit, there's no doubt about it, wouldn't you want like the best possible mask money could buy? I mean, if we're really that concerned, you would want like the mask that surgeons use, the N95 mask. And that's what you'd want to wear. You wouldn't want your own homemade mask because that would clearly not be as sophisticated as the mask that you could buy online. I mean, that's just me. I've been saying this from the very beginning. But Dr. Fauci, of course, has flip-flopped numerous times, depending on which news agency he's talking to. I mean, the guy, I'm sorry, I have no doubt he's a brilliant man, but he's a complete tool and he's a politician before he's a medical expert. No doubt in my mind. Proof be told, Dr. Fauci said, now is the time to do what you are told. And now he's feeling emboldened. Fauci is. He's feeling emboldened because of the fact that he thinks Joe Biden and believes Joe Biden has won this election. So Fauci's like, you will do what you are told. That is the worst thing you can say to the American people. The worst thing you can do. It's the worst thing that government can say, like a government official. You should do what you're told. That's exactly what you should not tell them. Nonetheless, we have it coming from Dr. Fauci's own mouth. And here's the clip.
I was talking with our UK colleagues just today who were saying the UK is very similar to where we are now in our outbreak because each of our countries have that independent spirit, but we don't want to be told what to do. Well, I understand that, but now is the time to do what you're told. And I think it really is something that we should be doing right now.
Can you believe that? Now is the time to do what you were told. How did that compare with the beginning of this year when we were actually instructed that, you don't really need masks? And to be fair, you know what? I have no doubt the Trump administration orchestrated that because they didn't want you to know the fact that we didn't have enough masks for everybody and that they were made in China and that we didn't have enough of this personal protective equipment in the United States. But now, fast forward, we're being told, oh, any mask will work, any mask. Any little mask, as long as you've got one on. This is the problem. I have to underscore this. Either you get a really high quality N95 type mask because you're really concerned about COVID, or you should wear no mask at all because they're saying, well, no, any little homemade mask works. Clearly, any reasonably intelligent person knows that that's not the case, which makes you wonder, right? It makes you wonder why they can't talk about this in a uniform way, why they can't educate you or at least have some sort of infomercial. Hey, here's mask A, here's mask B, and here's mask C. Mask A gets 95% of the particulates and prevents them from the bad stuff from going in. And mask B, 50%. Mask C, 20%. Which mask would you want? If you have to wear a mask, which mask would you wear? You're gonna wear the one that has the best chances of you not getting COVID. Duh. I mean, it's just like, but for some reason, we can't even have this conversation. We can't. You just need to do what you're told, according to Dr. Fauci. I mean, I'm just sorry, he's a politician. He changes what he says depending on what news outlet that he goes on, and now he's all in for Joe Biden, as I have no doubt he was always all in for Joe Biden.